Combat aircraft are some of the most well-preserved secrets due to the high risks involved. However, Lockheed Martin's desire to hide the development of the state Route 72 aircraft is not up to the public's curiosity, as the extremely rare sightings of the aircraft have shown. As it is a high-performance fighter plane, what is it capable of? So stay tuned while we bring you here how an American woman accidentally photographed the new Lockheed Martin high-performance aircraft. Before we continue, take just 2 seconds to like and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with our most recent discoveries. Nations around the world like to compete to prove their superiority. While the most documented and visible to the public can be the space race, the world powers get involved in other ultra-secret competitions that affect everyone. The armament race. Each country prepares for the hypothetical war and they seek to gain an advantage by being in control of the equipment of superior combat. The sky is where this great part of the competition today, thanks to the unique characteristics of the air war, happens. The world powers are fighting the threats from heaven with their own fighters, who are becoming more powerful and sophisticated. One of the undisputed leaders in this arms race is the United States, and a good part of its annual budget goes to the strengthening of its war capabilities. It is kept on its toes by Russia, its archenemy in the global scenario. However, one of the unique characteristics of the U.S. arms industry is that it receives many of its innovations from the private sector. One of these private companies is Lockheed Martin, which is currently developing a high-performance, ultra-secret aircraft, State Route 72. Your plane needs a predecessor to be successful. It couldn't have gotten anything better than the State Route 71 Blackbird. With the new State Route 72, Lockheed is building on the success of the State Route 71. The Lockheed Blackbird State Route 71 remains the fastest and highest jet in history. It flew higher than any other and set a world record for flight at sustained altitude, flying at 85,000 feet. The Blackbird was developed in the 60s during the Cold War as a high-flight reconnaissance jet. It is still considered by many as the most advanced aircraft of its kind, flying at 3 times the speed of sound, faster than any weapon that could be shot at. The United States entrusted Lockheed to build what was then an impossible war machine after the Soviets hit the U-2 aircraft of Gary Power with ground-to-air missiles. The condemned plane fell 70,000 feet to 30,000 feet before the forces could release and also the pilot leave the cockpit. However, during this period, the Lockheed Advanced Development Group, the Skunk Works, in Burbank, began working on an innovative aircraft to improve information collection, one that would fly faster than any aircraft before or after, at greater altitude and with the largest transverse section of minimal radar. In other words, the engineers were building an aircraft that could not be shot down. One of the most respected aircraft engineers who worked on the Blackbird was Kelly Johnson. He said that everything about the aircraft had to be invented thanks to the impossible requirements. For example, the speed of the new aircraft should exceed 2,000 miles per hour. Other aircraft of the time could reach this speed, however, they could only do it in a few words, after burning. The new aircraft had to maintain this extreme speed for hours at a time. Other aircraft with conventional air structures would melt at this speed because the friction with the atmosphere generates a lot of heat. However, the Blackbird fulfilled its responsibilities, since the American military extensively used for critical recognition of the mission for decades until its official retirement in 1998. Lockheed has the same primary mission as the State Route 72, nicknamed the Blackbird Sun. The aircraft manufacturer revealed in November 2013, however, there is a huge difference between the State Route 71 and the State Route 72. The new Blackbird has the option of not being manned, which means that the military will not put pilots at risk of extreme conditions and the dangers expected from their flight of super high speed and high altitude, with the State Route 72, estimated to reach speeds around Mach 6. The State Route 72 was also designed to overcome any threat of interception from the ground. The development was not easy for Lockheed since it made several attempts without success. It had to wait for some of the technologies it needed to develop. One of these technologies was the Hypersonic Technology Vehicle 2, or ATV-2, as part of the Defense Advanced Research Project Agent's Research and Development Project, DARPA Falcon. ATV-2 helped Lockheed in data collection on aerodynamics, aerothermal effects, orientation, navigation, and control. ATV also had its first flight in April 2010 and the second one more than a year and a half later. It reached a maximum speed of Mach 20 or 13,000 miles per hour, which is an absurd speed. The data obtained with ATV-2 helped Lockheed materialize the best project for the State Route 72. It is a hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft with dimensions and similar ranges to that of its successor. It will reach targets anywhere on the continent in less than an hour when equipped with hypersonic missiles such as Lockheed Martin's High-Speed Strike Weapon, HSSW. The aircraft's high speed ensures penetration into enemy-protected airspace. It will be able to challenge conventional air defenses, enter from extremely high altitudes and launch its payload before it is noticed. But in addition, the technology of this military project can have a revolutionary impact on future air passenger trips between important hubs. The non-triple aircraft State Route 72 comes from two sophisticated engines. It receives an impulse from the turbine engine until it reaches a speed of Mach 3, and the run-jet dual mode will provide an impulse for hypersonic speeds. The aircraft will use a single input nozzle for both the turbine engine and the run-jet to reduce drag. Skunk Works joined the Rocketdyne aeronautical system in the Combined Turbine-Based Cycle (TBCC) propulsion system to allow the aircraft to reach a cruise speed of Mach 6, doubling the speed of the State Route 71. The solo tests of the TBCC system were carried out by integrating a small turbine engine outside the deck with a ramjet-scramjet in a double mode, integrating a symmetrical axis input and also a nozzle. The State Route 72 is already popular among aviation enthusiasts. Filmmakers are also closely following its development as the aircraft is supported, making a campsite in the Top Gun trailer, the Maverick movie. In the trailer, the character of Tom Cruise, Pete Mitchell, with the sign called Maverick, can be seen piloting an experimental vessel that looks a lot like a fictional variant of the State Route 72. The new State Route 72 also appeared in a short promotional video made together by the Air Force and the United States Space Force. The aircraft appears at the end of the video and there is only a sketch and some details are visible. The object is most likely an image generated by the computer or a mock-up, and this eliminates, even more, the doubt that the American military is working on a mysterious aircraft. In addition, the videos were reported with sightings of the State Route 72. A source revealed to Aviation Week that they saw a small aircraft demonstrator landing at Skunk Works facilities in Palmdale, California. He says the demonstrator is a non-triple aircraft and was seen flying by the American Air Force's Factory 42 in Palmdale. That's where Skunk Works is besieged. The vehicle, which was observed landing in the early hours of the morning on an unspecified date at the end of July, was seen with two T-38 escorts. Lockheed Martin refused to comment directly on the sighting. This sighting is not uncommon, since military aircraft, usually classified, go through flight tests before the details are made public. In other public sightings, fans have photographed a new blackbird in Kansas, where a mysterious flying object was sighted. The person who took the photos explained that the photo is grainy because it was taken with a 400mm telephoto lens, at most, through a cloud layer, after which it was severely cut to bring it even closer. He added that there was no way to judge its size because there was no reference point. But this was in addition to another sighting in Texas. This one in particular was much more significant because a retired Marine with about 20 years of aviation experience commented on it. The three aircraft were sighted flying over Amarillo, and the photos were posted online to help identify them. The retired rifleman Janice Vineyard told the Houston Chronicle that the three aircraft were the mysterious Blackbird State Route 72. He claimed that the aircraft could have been dispatched to help in the search for the Malaysia Airlines 370 flight missing. Other specialists disagree with him, highlighting that the aircraft was still in development when the new Blackbird will be in operation then. Well, NASA and Lockheed are keeping their mouths shut about it, and the silence is understandable since it is an ultra-secret project. However, there are different estimates from different specialists. But the consensus is that the aircraft may need a few more years before it is certified. And it may be in the next decade that it officially joins the Air Force. We hope that the number of sightings increases as Lockheed tests the new aircraft.